Andy, this is an international show more than ever. Does that change the industry, the printing industry, if more coming from abroad?
I think it does. It's interesting. Just going around the show, you find sort of companies you've never seen before. This is not a German show, this is an international show. And you can see that from the number of visitors we have and where they come from.
And more than ever, here are software companies from all over the world. What is the impact to the print industry of that?
Well, the software companies, as you said, from all over the world, you're getting some fantastic software coming from all sorts of places. You know, that software is no longer a Western operation. You know, some of the Indian software is incredible. You're getting it from amazing places. There are no boundaries any longer in printing. You know that.
I guess you are the best expert to know the printing industry around the world. And do you see any differences between several continents? Do they have other demands? Do they have other aims and goals in the printing industry, or is it really a global industry?
It's a global industry, but you do see differences. The whole digital side in certain areas like variable data is still very much a Western situation. In the same way, if we looked at the whole rise of direct mail. Direct mail isn't happening in lots of countries because they don't have a good postal system. So there are those changes. But in other areas, you know, it's the same. They use the same presses. If you look in China, the biggest area of press sales for the German manufacturers and the Japanese manufacturers in the last 5 years has not been America, it's not been Europe, it's been China. You know, they've automated and improved their structure, so it's a global industry.
And in terms of printers, of buyers, of users, is it also a global industry?
It is. That you find that the amount of exports coming out of certain countries, Singapore, I'm advised, more than 50% of all the print in Singapore is for export. In India, there are printers who purely print for the UK in book printing and things of this nature. You're finding now, because of labour costs and everything else, and the ease of transferring data digitally, because digital workflows have no boundaries, it's becoming very easy to print wherever you go with fast distribution, etc.
The predictions you made on the last Drupa 2004, did they come true?
Well, in a sense they did, because I believe I was the person who coined the term inkjet Drupa. And I said 2004, 2008 will be the inkjet Drupa. And yes, there's a huge amount of inkjet being demonstrated here. Not a lot of it's available for sale. You know, some of the things are previews of technologies, etc. But those projections came true. The projections that JDF would be enabled and would be in full use by 2008 come true. What's perhaps happened quicker than many people thought is the huge rise of web to print, and the way the internet is now an integral element of the whole print process. So I think most of the projections we thought have come about. I've never suggested that offset's going to go away, as many other people have done, and it's not, because one of the key things you're seeing here and over the past few years is how efficient offset's become.
Could that mean that digital and offset printing machines could, like in a couple of years, very similar?
I don't think offset will get down much lower than it does at the moment. But what's happening, I think, that you're going to find is the next generation of technology being built into offset presses will allow us to run the offset presses almost without an operator.
Leads us to another buzzword, JDF. That was only a hot topic on the Drupa 2004. What's about your prediction from that show to nowadays?
Well, JDF is now very well established. There's an awful lot of people making use of JDF. A lot of the problems when you try and implement JDF in a factory is you've still got old equipment and new equipment. So it's very easy here for people like Heidelberg to have the whole of their operation JDF enabled because it's all brand new equipment. So that's still a hold up in getting JDF fully enabled throughout the print shop, but we're moving forward fairly rapidly on that to do so. My projection for the next one is an extension of JDF to actually handle colour better.
So far, did you see something on the show which surprised you very much?
In a sense, one thing did surprise me. is we've had for the arrival from Fuji and from Dai Nippon Screen of sheet-fed inkjet presses in the B2 format. And we've been waiting a long, long time to get B2 sheet-fed presses. And so we've now got these, they're prototypes, and what amazed me is how awful they were. In terms of the imaging was very good, but they showed a complete lack of understanding of what a future press should be. What they'd done is they actually built a press that was in reality a very, very limited offset press that printed with inkjet. They didn't realize that if you want to make a successful press in the digital market, you've got to make a press that has very, very low manning levels and is very automated. In other words, if a press can't automatically print both sides of the sheet of the paper in one pass, if it can't feed from multiple paper stocks and do automatic collation and can't connect to automatic finishing systems, it doesn't solve the problem. We've got to, we want to run presses automatically, we want to run them with the lowest manning level possible, and basically if you look at the best digital presses now, one man runs two presses. With an offset press of that nature, you'll have two men running one press, and I think they've got to do a fundamental redesign of that.
Preparing the industry for the next Drupa 2012. It will be also 2 weeks, and we guess it will be huge as it is now.
Yeah.
If a printer is coming here for 2 days, 3 days, how could he prepare to see the really important things?
I would love to see a slight change in structure. I would love to see the Innovation Park open a day or so before the rest of the event, because I think the Innovation Park is a key to people seeing where the industry is going. And I would like it to be a case that any printer who really may be a small printer, etc., has the opportunity to come to the Innovation Park and see what's happening before they go and see other things. The trouble is, the average printer is coming for 2 days. He will go straight into the Heidelberg Hall or somewhere like that and spend half a day to 3/4 of a day in there, and then he'll rush over to look at Xerox, he'll rush over to look at HP, and then he'll think, I've got no more time. And he probably, 90% of the people coming here have probably not looked at the Innovation Park because they don't understand it or haven't got time, because there's so many people here. You need a day to really go through here and see what's interesting.
Means the average visitor is looking for the things he already knows.
Absolutely. And again, I see this, when I've made this criticism and I published my criticism of the new Fuji inkjet press. Fuji said, you don't understand the business. We've had lots of printers have come up and said that's just what they're looking for. And I said, yes, and those are the printers who have failed so far to see any opportunity for buying into digital, and they just wanting to buy the same as they've got at the moment. They don't understand things are changing. Things are changing so rapidly in this industry that they've got to look at different things. Don't make this your last Drupa, buy digital. In other words, there's so many printers are going to go out of business. It's inevitable. We're losing a huge percentage of printers every year. And if they don't buy the right technology, if they don't change their business model, they won't be coming to the next Drupa. And this is why I believe that opening the Innovation Park earlier and encouraging printers to come beforehand, or almost making them say, you're not allowed into the rest of Drupa until you've spent half a day in the Innovation Park. But that may be difficult.
Are you happy about much younger faces, younger people coming here?
I'm not seeing enough. And again, this brings up the education part of this industry. The education part of this industry needs to change the way it works. It needs to adopt new technologies. It needs to adopt things like this, podcasting, video casting. It needs to adopt webinars. It needs to adopt video conferencing of all sorts in terms of spreading training. And it's not just for young people. We need to spread training of that nature to all the management. The typical print manager does not believe he needs any more training.
It would be wonderful when we old boys are pushed away.
Absolutely. We can appreciate the change. Unlike a lot of printers out there, they don't want change. They'd love it to be like it was, where they could buy a Heidelberg press and 10 years later they could trade that press in and get almost the same amount they paid for it. It doesn't happen anymore. The industry's changed and it's going to change even more.
For the next interview, see you at the Drupa 2012.
I look forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.